Hello and welcome back to another episode of the News You Missed. This is a Pokemon edition. Hot off the heels of E3, we got a lot of news from various gaming companies, but a lot of news coverage has been done for it, so I don't want to beat a dead horse and throw out more news stories that you've already seen. So we're going to go right into something that you might not know about. So apparently there's been an update talking about Pokemon Sword and Shield and how the Galar region is only going to include certain Pokemon from the Pokedex that they decide to include. They are not going to allow all of the Pokemon from previous generations into the game. Now, a lot of people are claiming that this is lazy, that they already have the 3D models that are available, and they are future-proof. So this is just sheer laziness, and they're rushing the product. And I myself have speculated that the reason they're rushing this product is that Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee has not been as successful as previous entries have been. Bearing in mind, the game has sold a combined total of 10 million units. That is nothing compared to the previous entry of Ultra Sun and Moon and Sun and Moon at 25 million. And then you can look back at other entries as well. The thing about it is, yes, the game could continue selling well into the future, and there's no questioning that, but I think Game Freak is worried that it won't, and that they will lose a lot of relevancy and steam with the Nintendo Switch entries of Pokemon. Therefore, they are rushing Pokemon Sword and Shield to get it out to people to fill that void and prevent that from happening. Now, the problem is that they won't be including a lot of people's favorite Pokemon. You might be calling this entitled and things like that, but really the truth is, it's a slap in the face when you have a service called Pokemon Home that will allow you to transfer all the Pokemon from various games. As I said before, you could go all the way back to Generation 3 and get a Pokemon on Pokemon Bank and then transfer it over. You could get your day 1 Pokemon Go starter that's all the way evolved and transfer them over. This is how Pokemon Home is supposed to work, and apparently it's not going to support these newer Pokemon. Now, I could understand that you wouldn't want to program them into the game, you wouldn't want to program the encounters into the game, you would just want to leave them in the decks. Give them the models, give them the stats, make them real Pokemon as models, and put them into the game, and then allow you to transfer them in from home. I think a lot of people would be satisfied with that, not as satisfied as if they could find them in the wild, but satisfied nonetheless. The problem is that they don't do that, and they are saying that they are not going to do that. But there's a big update that has occurred. Serebii.net has covered this. Apparently, the creators have come out and stated that they're not opposed to possibly adding in Pokemon via updates later on to the Galar Pokédex. This is somewhat strange because we really haven't seen Pokemon patched in via updates later on. So this might end up saving the game for a lot of people. But then it doesn't confirm it. It doesn't say, yes, we plan to add in Pokemon later on, like with Smash Bros. Ultimate. Hey, we're going to have DLC characters, but here's the game now. If they had taken that approach, I can see a lot more people being extremely happy. If you check out this video over on YouTube, you can see a lot of people have expressed their disinterest in this game. And many of my comments have agreed that they're not happy with this game. They don't want a limited number of Pokemon. They want to be able to transfer over all of their life's work while playing Pokemon onto the newest Pokemon Switch entry. A lot of these people skipped Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, and to add to it, that game was kind of generationally locked. Therefore, you couldn't have transferred any Pokemon over except for the corresponding generation from Pokemon Go. So even there, once again, you're kind of trapped. You still don't have your Pokemon on the newest Nintendo console, which is what a lot of people want. They want to see their favorites on the console. They want to see the Pokemon that they want on there. The Pokemon that they've worked with coming in from Pokemon Home. Again, the service that's supposed to link all of these games together, but doesn't work on the newest entry for arbitrary reasons.
Good luck! You'll need it!
To add to that, it seems that Mega Evolutions and Z-Moves have been confirmed to be removed as well. Now, I don't think a lot of people are too upset about Z-Moves, although they were quite funny to watch at times, especially Dugtrios. But my point being, we're missing a lot of features that are supposed to be in this Pokemon game as a standard. Why are you not including Mega Evolution and Z-Moves again? Is there any reason not to? Oh yeah, you just want to include giant Pokemon. Cool, I appreciate the Godzilla-esque battles we're having, but at the end of the day, I would appreciate it a lot more if you didn't remove previous features that were dedicated and put into these games. Mega Evolution is something that a lot of people really enjoyed. It allowed Pokemon from previous entries of the game to excel where they would almost always never be used. I mean, who really was using Beedrill or Pidgeot competitively in comparison to some other Pokemon that you could get? And yes, people would use Pinsir, but with the capabilities of Mega Evolution, you could use a lot of these Pokemon that would be never used or rarely ever used in tier lists, and you can make them viable competitive Pokemon. Along with the Z moves, you could take a Pokemon that would seem underwhelming to face, and it becomes a very, very strong wild card. It becomes very potent and very powerful. I would have liked to have seen many more Mega Evolutions come, especially with every single generation starter, but that's not going to happen because they're omitted from the newest version of Pokemon. That sucks, doesn't it? So why? What's the reason behind that? I mean, other than laziness, other than wanting to rush the game, what is honestly, objectively, the reason to omit Z moves and Mega Evolution? Is there a good one? I would like to hear it. Is there somehow the developmental team that's been developing Pokemon for over 20 years, they have encountered this massive roadblock of programming and they just can't do it? Is that what I'm hearing? If so, that's pretty insane too. Really think about what people are trying to defend this as. Entitled gamers. Entitled gamers, I don't want to spend $60 on a subpar Pokemon experience when I have Pokemon X and Y back there and I can play it and Mega Evolve all the Pokemon I want. Or I have Ultra Sun and Moon and I can play it and I can use all the Z moves I want. I would much rather play those games and not pay $60 for them and get all of the Pokemon from the Pokedex. It works with Pokemon Bank, and it's a standalone game. So I don't have to wait for Pokemon to be patched in as DLC down the road. Do you see why fans are feeling a little bit underwhelmed, a little bit quote-unquote entitled? Yeah, we're a little bit entitled because we spend the $60 to purchase the game on top of the $250 to $300 for the Nintendo Switch itself. So yeah, people are going to be entitled about what they get in their game. If you don't give it to them, they're not going to buy the game. I don't understand why this always becomes an argument. People want to relate gamers as being these children who have never grown up and are throwing temper tantrums when they don't get their way. But you forget, this is a product. This is a consumable product. Imagine going to Burger King, ordering a burger, and you want lettuce, tomatoes, onions, pickles, the meat, the bun, and mayonnaise, mustard, and ketchup on it, and you're missing a tomato, a couple pickles, and you go and get the burger, and you complain about it, and they say, wow, you're entitled. It's like, no, you paid for the game, this is what you want out of it. You express that before handing the money. When they ask you what you want on it, you told them what you wanted on it, then you handed them the money, and they handed you a product that did not have what you wanted in it. Who would be entitled to react negatively when they want a product with all of the Pokemon in it? And they're not going to pay $60 for a product that doesn't have that. They did go on to say that they have a lot of content for players to enjoy when they finish the story. But from the trailers and from what I've seen of the game so far, unfortunately, I have to be very, very pessimistic about this. Because I've played almost every Pokemon game. Most Pokemon games only include a tower or some type of battle arena, which this one has already shown, or you can battle Pokemon for, I don't know, it could be 100 levels, it could be a tournament style, things like that. And that's okay, that's great, but at the end of the day, all you get is some prestige and a little bit of items, and it's a lot of work, and sometimes the game really screws you hard with the RNG. But, again, that's just how it goes with the post-game content. Other than that, what else are you going to do in the world? Are you going to catch them all? Are you going to face these giant Pokemon and catch the giant Pokemon? That seems fun and great and everything, but you're definitely not going to catch them all if all of them are not in the game. Again, Pokemon gotta catch them all for the Americas. The slogan that's so important is not here, is not present. But, as I said before with the first story, it seems that they are reconsidering and are going to be filling these Pokemon in with updates later on. So perhaps you will be able to catch them all. Perhaps you will be able to transfer all the Pokemon over from the updates down the road from DLC, which would be nice. At the end of the day, do I think it's going to be a good game? I think it's going to be a Pokemon game missing a lot of content. I think it's going to be very similar to Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. I think there's going to be cut content that a lot of people are going to miss and be very, very upset that it's not in the game. And I think it's not going to sell as well as it should because of that fact. But then I could be completely wrong. That's where you come in, and I would love to hear your comments in the section below. If you have something to add to the conversation, you let me know. Otherwise, like and share the videos, support me absolutely free. You can check out my socials, Discord, Patreon, Twitter, and I've been your host, Protomario, and I'm signing out. As always, good game and God bless, and I hope we'll be able to catch them all, trainers. I'll see you in the next one.